Introducing my mother, Gloria Pritchard.
Gloria? So how old are you?
76.
76.
77.
77.
How old I am.
When you were growing up, what types of media did you use for entertainment?
It was definitely radio, which used to have a lot of serials. I can remember one serial was called Dossier on Demetrius. And Blue Hills. Everybody listened to Blue Hills.
So what, you would go to work or go to school the next day and everyone would talk about what happened on Blue Hills?
Probably not.
Oh. Not like everyone goes to school the next day and talks about what happened on Home and Away.
No.
And was that a radio in the lounge room, or where was it?
No, it was in the kitchen.
Oh. Why was it in the kitchen?
Because that's where most people sat, was in the kitchen. That's where Mum worked. In the kitchen.
So there was just one radio in the house?
Yes.
Cards. What about comics and magazines?
Oh, heavens, yes. I used to get a weekly magazine. Was on all the English pop stars.
Oh.
Which seems so strange now because you don't hear anything about English pop stars. But back then, when I was...
Like who?
Cliff Richard.
The Beatles?
No, that was before the Beatles.
Oh, even before the Beatles.
Yeah. The American sort of music hadn't sort of hit Australia. It was more English. Other entertainment was reading books.
That you borrowed from the library? Or bought?
Well, when we were in Colac, we could borrow from the library. We shifted out onto the farm. Probably bought books. Exchanged books with other people, I guess.
Oh, yeah, with friends. And what about comics? What about comic magazines?
Yes, Phantom Comics.
Oh, that's right. I remember your Phantoms.
Yeah. Well, Sim says they're his.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Swap cards. Used to have swap cards.
So there was no telephone?
No, we never had a telephone until we went to Piran.
That would have been weird.
We never had a television until we went to Piran.
So it would have been weird having a telephone for the first time?
Yeah. Well, I was working.
Oh, okay. So that was quite late.
Yeah, so I was working because I paid for the telephone to go on and I bought the TV.
Now, I remember you telling me a story, and this might have been when you were at Bamborough, and Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin and the other dude that I always forget were going to the moon.
Yes.
And didn't you say that you didn't have a TV in Bamborough?
No, we didn't. We went over to Dorman's and watched it.
That's right. You all gathered at Dorman's, didn't you, to watch the man land on the moon? So what was it like to have TV for the first time?
Well, you just can't imagine it. If you wanted to change the channel, you had to get up and change it. If you wanted to switch it on, you had to switch it on.
That's right.
And if you wanted to turn it off, you had to get up and turn it off.
There wouldn't have been many channels to choose from anyway, would there have been?
Well, there was probably only 3, the ABC and Channel 7 and Channel 9. 10 came later, but not like there's about 50,000 on the thing now.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous because one channel can have 3 stations with the same thing on each station. I just don't know why they do it.
What technology do you use today that you never used to use when you were growing up?
A remote control.
A remote control, yep.
Recording things.
Oh, yes, yeah.
We would play records, or Mum would play the piano. Never had a camera the first camera I had I got for my 21st birthday, and that's when we sort of took photos. There's very few photos of us growing up as kids, and I really don't know who took them because Mum and Dad didn't have a camera.
Did Nana ever have a camera?
No, I don't think so.
Wow, I couldn't imagine that. Not having... Wonder what she'd think now if she could see mobile phones and internet and everyone walking around taking photos and videos with their phones.
Well,
she'd really be surprised.
It's amazing, really. Like I've just sorted out all the negatives, trying to work out what they were. Well, today you don't have negatives.
No.
It's all digital.
That's right. Everyone can see their photo instantly. When I take photos of kids at school, they go, show me, show me, show me, show me. Straight away they want to see if it's okay, and they go, and sometimes they'll go, yeah, that's all right. No, redo it. Whereas back in the film photos day, you couldn't see the photo until you got them developed.
Yeah, but how about taking a photo and sending it to somebody?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Instantly.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, instantly. Or if someone's like at a shop, like sometimes I might video call someone, like video call Asha or Phil and say, right, I'm here at the shop. Is this what you want? And like be able to like video it like in real time. Yeah, it is. It's pretty amazing. Well, what about the internet? How do you use the internet?
I only find things out on the iPad.
So you use the internet to find things out? And what about Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook. That's.
Yep. So
I actually don't. I don't do that very much now.
What's that?
Look and find out things.
Why?
Well, I'm past learning.
Oh, you don't want to know anything anymore.
Yeah, well, we tried to do the census last night.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I had to ring up and get them to send out the forms so we can fill the forms in.
Oh, yeah, in paper version, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they expect people to understand. I had to create a new password.
Yeah.
Then I get a message today that somewhere along the line a new password had been created. Which one was I going to use? And I thought, damn it, I'll just forget about it. It's just all too complicated.
Yeah,
This world is just getting too smart for its own good.
I was just teaching my students about filter bubbles. So just say you're interested in crocheting and you look up crocheting things on your iPad. After a while, Google, Facebook start to show you things to do with knitting and crocheting, and so it shows you things like that. But Phil, on the other hand, is interested in four-wheel driving and camping. So he looks up four-wheel driving and camping stuff. And he'll never see ads for craft tables or crocheting or anything like that. But he'll see all those. So after a while, we start to only see what we're interested in. And that's the same for the news as well. If you read your news online, after a while, it'll only show you the news that you want to hear.
That's right. But see, it's the same too when you watch YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube does exactly the same thing.
When Nye's here and he watches those really, really old movies, for the next couple of weeks you've got all these old movies.
Yeah.
And then if we happen to watch a particular singer, for the next couple of weeks it's all on him.
That's right. Yes, and so that ends up being what's called a filter bubble, because that's why they say the world was shocked when Donald Trump was elected president, because everyone didn't realise how many people out there actually were keen to vote for him. Yeah. Because if you weren't interested in Donald Trump and you never read anything of Donald Trump, you never got to see any of that news on your news feed. But the people that were interested in Donald Trump, that's what they saw. Suddenly the world's shocked, thinking, I didn't know he was popular. And then there you go.
I
Okay. So how did you obtain news and information when you were younger?
Well, newspapers
Yep.
and the radio. And there used to be magazines, like a monthly magazine called The Parade.
Yeah.
Used to have a lot of historical things in it.
Okay.
And I used to get that. But I don't think it's printed anymore. It was quite a popular thing, but it wasn't just on history, it'd be on geography or general knowledge or something like that.
Okay. And you used to go to the movies a fair bit?
Yes, every Saturday afternoon I would go to the movies. My mother would give me 2 shillings, which was 20 cents. And for that 20 cents, we got to see 2 full-length movies. At half-time, you went out and got a lolly and a drink or an ice cream. And on the way home, there used to be a shop up Murray Street that made ice blocks. And we used to call into Boys Cafe and get an ice block and eat on the way home.
Wow.
For 20 cents.
For 20 cents.
2 full-length movies. And you could even afford to roll your Jaffas down the aisle.
What was the attraction of rolling Jaffas down the aisle? Do they make a good sound?
Oh, yeah, they did make a really good sound, yeah.
Did it annoy other people?
Oh, no.
Oh.
I never did it. They're too nice to throw away
Precious.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that used to be a Saturday matinee. I think they have Saturday matinees in Maryborough, don't they?
Yes, yeah, they do. They do in Ballarat too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's awesome, being able to watch a whole entire film and then go out and then go back in and watch another one.
Yeah. There was always the main movie, and the other one was the supporting movie.
That's awesome.
But there hasn't been 2 movies on a program for a long time now.
How do you obtain your news and information now?
ABC News, Channel 7 News.
So on TV?
Yep. I never turn the radio on now.
Yeah.
It annoys me.
Because it's too noisy?
Oh, it's just all gabble.
I suppose you've got a very nice TV that has nice sound too.
Yeah, and if they're not watching television, you put the music on. So
your
just
TV,
nice.
your smart TV sort of become everything.
Yes, it does.
And do you go out to the movies as much as you did when you were growing up?
Well, we were, but this, in isolations, we would have averaged probably gone to the movies twice a month.
Yeah. You were going to a fair few movies.
Yes. Yeah, we enjoyed going to the movies.
You can go back to the movies now.
Yeah, if they were good ones. Yeah, we've seen some shockers, I can tell you.
Do you reckon if someone had described to you, see what your family and friends are doing on Facebook on a little iPad that looked like a book that was a screen, do you reckon you could have imagined that when you were little?
No. I was just, when we were watching the Olympic Games, and, they had,
Drone? The drone?
Yeah, a drone.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, when they first started the Olympic Games, would people ever dream there's a little thing up there taking photos? Never in a million years, would it?
No.
And I mean, you stop and think that when you went to the movies, they used to have movie tone, was it mine? Movie tone, which was the news, and that news would be 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
It'd be over England or America somewhere. There was no instant news like we get today.
That's right. You know instantly if something's happened.
Yes.
Like I remember when the election, when they were working out whether Trump was back in or back out, all the kids at school were on edge. And I'm thinking, they don't take as much interest in our own Australian Prime Minister. They were crazy. They were watching it instantly, and they were giving updates on the votes and the count back and everything.
Yeah, yeah. And Dad just said the Weekly Times, that was the farmers' newspaper.
Well, they still make the Weekly Times, don't they?
Yes. And see, there all used to be the pastoral shows that had the cattle and horses and foot racing and wood chopping and all that. And the Weekly Times would run photos of those.
Yeah. I suppose those forms of entertainment, like dances and agricultural shows, were bigger than what they are now because there was less to do.
Well, the CWA used to have the cooking, and the women used to do the sewing and the plants and all that sort of thing. It's not quite the same today.
When I went to the Clunes show for the first time, it reminded me, and I thought, wow, this is like a real old-fashioned show. It was really lovely. I love the Clunes show. But yes, none of those have been able to go because of COVID. I wonder if the Colac show will be on this year.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's been called off. That's the second year in a row.
Yeah, that's right. Do you enjoy Netflix and Netflix and YouTube and being able to watch all sorts of movies whenever you want?
Oh, most definitely. I probably would say I enjoy taping shows that I can watch later.
Yeah.
So I can cut the ads out quick.
But
heavens, look, honestly, if we were going through COVID without television, I think 90% of the people would go off their heads.
Imagine if you only had radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you take Nye. He'd be lost without his telly.
Yeah, he would be. Is there anything that you miss about obsolete forms of technology?
I miss the slow pace.
Yeah.
Like everything's such a race now, isn't it?
It feels like it.
And what you said before, the family.
Yes, like what you were saying, if it was in the kitchen, if you had the radio on in the kitchen, everyone would have been sitting around listening to the radio show.
Yes.
And that's what I noticed, the difference now that everyone's got a screen with TV, is everyone used to sit down and watch the TV. And it was in the room, if you wanted to watch TV, you had to be in the same room as everyone else. But now everyone's got their own little screen. So, yeah, Phil could be watching something, Asha could be watching something on her little screen, Joey could be watching something on his little screen. And
when Mum was here, I can't remember the name of the show, but it was on a Tuesday night, and we would all make an effort to have the dishes and tea all over and done with, or no dishwasher, you see, so we could get in here to watch that show that come on, and I just can't remember what it was. But we all enjoyed it.
Can Dad remember what it was? Wasn't a country practice or something?
No, it was something different. Yes.
Oh, Carson's Law.
No.
Oh, it wasn't Carson's Law.
Well, we enjoyed that too.
So you miss the family gathering with technology. So enjoying it together. Now everyone seems to enjoy it on their own.
Yeah, but see, you take the nights we play cards here.
Yeah.
Isn't that a load of fun?
It's heaps of fun.
You can't have that fun looking at the television screen, can you?
No, you can't. But I was about to say that's why Joey likes playing online games with his friends, because even though they're not all physically in the same room, they're playing a game together. So
yes.
I think that's about it's probably similar, as close as you can get to playing games with people in the same room, is to playing them online. And Ashley used to do that with Fortnite. Last year in lockdown, in remote learning, they'd all get, at night time, they'd all just join Fortnite together, and it was mostly so they could hang out together and do some fun things.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking of sort of in the messy room in there. Why don't you get the Dungeons and Dragons out and teach the kids how to play it?
Joey was interested. Ash is not interested in Dungeons and Dragons. Joey was interested. He wanted to play. We have some kids at school that play.
Wayne, can I have one of your bottles, please?
Water. She's been
Yes.
talking too much.
No, I've had a sore throat for a fortnight.
That's weird. You've been in lockdown. You can't have seen anybody.
No, I don't know where I got it from.
There was just one more thing I wanted to ask you is about magazines. Do you read magazines now? Do you buy magazines, read magazines?
The only magazine I read is something Enterprise Entertainment, which you can buy DVDs from. I don't read any Women's Day or anything like that. I'm not really interested in them. If I bought them, it'd only to do the crossword.
Ah, yes. And I remember when we were kids, you always used to buy the TV Week. And that was just so that you could get the TV guide, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, now you don't need that, do you?
No, you don't.
Do you wonder if they even sell that magazine still?
I think so, yes.
Wow, who buys it, I wonder?
Oh, yeah, because it also includes the paid TV too.
Oh, yes, I see, yeah. And even all the, the news about celebrities and TV stars and stuff like that, you can just see it online now, can't you?
Yeah.
Thank you, Gloria. That's all we've got time for. Thank you very much.